Well, I hope that worked. I hope you guys heard that. This is like my test run for the intro video. It's getting pretty serious now. We got an intro video. I don't know if you guys heard the audio or not. Let me know in the comments, or I'll just go back and I'll watch the first 10 seconds of my own show, and I'll be able to find out. The thing about that intro video, which is kind of depressing in a sense, right? If you notice the clips I used, it's all like antique footage. I got like Dan Marino from 1980. I got the Miami Miracle. Um, I got the one win that we had against Baltimore. Greg Camarillo down the sideline. How you doing? Call me here. Take care. Dolphins first win. I'm so nervous to use like modern players in the intro video, because then I'm just gonna have to change it, because knowing us, the Dolphins, like someone's gonna get traded, someone's gonna get cut, and knowing my luck, they're gonna be in the intro video, or I'm gonna have their jersey in my closet. So I have to go to the antiques, I have to go to the antiques. And it's annoying because we haven't done anything for the last 20 years. So I can't like post a clip of us winning a playoff game, or, us holding up the Vince Lombardi trophy. I got to go back to fucking Dan Marino fake spiking it against the Jets. Like, that's the best clip I could pull. But the Dolphins were making some moves, man, and we might be able to, update the clips for the introduction video. We signed Melvin Ingram. The roster's looking really, really good. Bobby, how are we feeling about the Melvin Ingram signing, buddy?
What's going on, Smoke? First off, the intro video is fire. I heard it on my
Thank you.
headphones in the backstage, so I think that's a good sign. The people
I
should have
hope
been
so.
able to enjoy that. And like you said, bro, when you were saying I don't want to put the new players in the video because who knows if they're traded or whatnot, I immediately thought about my jerseys. My closet's just to the right. I took a look over. I see a Devontae Parker. I see a
Gone.
Jay Ajayi. I see a
Gone.
Reggie Bush. I see a
Gone.
Tannehill.
Gone.
So yeah, I definitely feel that. I feel that I even have some sort of a curse where when I buy a jersey, the player just sucks or gets traded. So
Every
I might
time.
just hold back for now and not buy anything and let the players actually be good. But dude, Melvin Ingram, I missed that
Very nice.
yesterday. Yeah, I was at my local city, Rochester, is in the AHL playoffs for hockey, so I was supporting the boys down there. And then I saw this morning that we made that signing. A nice little move, nice little
Mm-hmm.
uh, depth. I don't know if he's going to be a starter or depth, but you
No.
can't have too many edge rushers. So I think it's
Right.
perfect. I think he's going to come in. He's going to add strength to that defensive line. I think the most useful way for him is going to be on like third down packages because you could bump
Yep.
him inside, get a little bit of a speed rush package going on. So I like it, man. I think it's a positive move, and I'm definitely fired up about it.
Yeah, I think it's a great signing. I think everyone in the Dolphins world is absolutely elated by the signing. I mean, this is a guy we've been asking for I'd say about 2 years now. And you're going to have the guys that are tweeting, oh, he's only had 2 sacks in the last 2 years. Well, if you know football and understand the game of football, like obviously as a pass rusher, your main goal is to sack the quarterback. But also, when you're a 12-year veteran, or I don't know how many years he's been, but I know it's like over 10 by now. He's
Mhm.
just a disruption to have on the football field. Like, he's going to take over some gaps that'll open up the gap for some linebackers to come through, or some stunts to be pulled. So you don't have to light up the sack column for you to be an effective pass rusher on this defense, especially this defense. I mean, our defensive line is elite. I think we have a fantastic young elite defensive line, and just his presence in the locker room as a veteran is going to be essential. So I don't think he's going to start, and you don't sign that guy to start at this stage in his career. You sign him for his leadership. You sign him for his knowledge of the game. You sign him to help out the young guys, and you also sign him to make some plays. Now, he doesn't have to go out there and play first down through third down, but he will go out there for situational football. And with his experience, he'll know what to do, and he'll help us win in those situations.
1000%. And it's just like you said, another veteran leader presence that we could add to this team full of a great roster, but I still feel we're a little unexperienced. We don't quite know how to win yet. So just adding another player of that caliber is definitely a great move in my opinion. And when he got traded last year from the Steelers to the Chiefs, I mean, I'm not attributing it all to him, but the Chiefs defense really did make a crazy turnaround. Like we started the beginning of the
Right.
year saying Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs, Chiefs this, Chiefs that. Their defense was sus. They brought in Ingram, and he made a difference. Like you said, the sack numbers aren't popping off the page, but he does so many other things where opening gaps, scheme fits, where you could just create off of
Yep.
him. And it's just another presence we have to add on that defensive line, which I think the pass rush was already going to be a strength this year. I mean, Ugba is a monster. And then I've already been talking about Jalen Phillips last week. I think he has a monster step forward this year. So just to have another guy in the room, I think it's perfect.
You know what, Vaughn? I might have just woken up. I might have. No. I woke up early. I just left the gym. I got manhandled today. Hank has a question. Thoughts on the rumor that we haven't made Treader an offer? We always have time for you, Hank. Come on now. So what I've seen just on Twitter. Now I haven't dived too deep into it, but I've seen DMs with his dad, like Treader's dad, I guess, TD DM Treader's dad, and his dad basically said Miami hasn't made him an offer yet. And then I'm hearing from just Dolphins Twitter, I guess, that we have, and it just wasn't enough. So I really don't know. I haven't done too much diving into it. It wouldn't surprise me if we haven't, though. Um, for some weird reason, I think Greer is pretty happy with the offensive line right now. I mean, I think we could use some depth, obviously, and us as Dolphin fans. I mean, we want the established offensive line. We want a guy like Treader in there, but for some reason, I think Greer truly believes in the potential of this young offensive line and just didn't believe they had the proper staff to get them to their fullest potential. That's why I know we signed Connor Williams, but we really just wanted that big veteran presence with Teron Armstead, and that's really it. I mean, we got him and Connor, and we don't even know if we're going to put Connor at guard, if we're going to put Connor at center. So it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't make Treader an offer.
Yeah, 1000%. I would absolutely love to get Treader in. I think we've proven that we don't do a good job evaluating offensive linemen in the draft,
Yeah,
seeing as
not
though
at
we
all,
strike out
bro.
on them every single year. So
Every
my new
year.
philosophy, and it should be Greer's as well, let's just buy the offensive line.
Every
We do
time.
well. We do well drafting in other spots. We do really well drafting in some other spots. So let's just buy the offensive line in the free agency market because we know what we're
Yep.
getting there. We don't have to hope and pray that our guy is the evaluation that we kind of put on him. We already know what we're getting. So I would love the offer. I would love to get him in. But like you said, I'm not sure how they're going to shuffle that line this year because we do
Yep.
have some. Obviously, Armstead is going to play left tackle, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they're going to do the inside of the line, though, because we got a bunch of guys who are pretty versatile. We know the Dolphins love to shake it up because usually it's not working. So we have to shake it up and try something new. So maybe Connor Williams will play center this year. That could be interesting, something to keep an eye on. But I mean, adding Treader would be a power move, in my opinion. It's the one position group where I'm still a little unsure. We definitely got better, but are
Yep.
we good enough? I'm not positive. So it'd be a positive addition in my mind.
The thing that worries me most is right tackle. I mean, that's Tua's blind side.
Yep.
Like, do you believe in Liam to get the job done?
I don't know, man. The jury's
I
still
feel like
out.
we should address that over. Like, obviously, I'm very, 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 very happy with signing Armstead. Like, don't get that twisted. But that's Tua's freaking blind side. Like that's the most important part on the offensive line, and I still think that's a question mark.
Yeah, it definitely is. At this point, I mean, we just gotta hope and trust that one of these offensive linemen that we draft actually turns into a quality
I doubt
starter.
it.
Um, but like
I
we've seen
doubt
in the
it.
past, it hasn't always worked out. Yeah, it is a little sketchy though, with Eichenberg slotted to play right tackle after not having a very impressive campaign last year.
Well, it's just you were talking about it earlier. We shuffle the offensive line nonstop. Nonstop. For once, I would love for us to just go out there, have a solidified offensive line, a unit that we know is going to be out there, and just handle business. But what comes with that, in order to have that, you have to have your starting five, but you also have to have the right depth. And I feel like the second we ever lose a starter on our offensive line, all hell breaks loose. Like our
Yep.
left tackle is going to go to right tackle, or our guard's going to go play tackle this week. We never have depth at the offensive line. And also, that's why I know Melvin Ingram's obviously he plays on the defensive side of the ball. That's why I'm very happy with that signing as well, because we needed depth on a pass rusher. D linemen, they rotate more than anyone in the league. Like, you don't rotate out your offensive linemen. but you rotate out your defensive linemen, and that's why I think that signing is going to be great. It's going to add a lot of depth, and I'd like to see what the Dolphins are going to do with the offensive line, especially when it comes to depth, because if Liam's your starting right tackle and he goes down, like what is going to happen to the offensive line now? Are we going to go back to musical chairs? And I know your backup offensive line isn't supposed to be like elite by any means, but you should be able to fill in a guy that makes you feel comfortable that Tua's not going to break his ribs when they play Buffalo on the second play of the game.
Yeah, dude, 1,000%. That offensive line needs to be solidified. There needs to be some continuity, like you said, where we know all week these guys practice in this spot. When it comes to game day, they're going to play in this spot. And then every week it's going to be the same, as opposed to shuffling it up, playing musical chairs, moving this guy here to see if it works. It doesn't work. And players don't want to have to do that either. Players want to know their
Right.
spot and get in and play it. They don't want to have to practice left guard, guard, right tackle, know all the
Yeah.
positions, all the plays. Like, that's just a hassle. Let them lock in on one spot. Let's get some continuity this year and hope that it works out. I think it can. It's definitely improved, but I mean, it remains to be seen from this team with an offensive line.
I want to talk about Brian Flores for a minute. So shout out my guy Joe Robbie. If you don't know Joe Robbie, he's basically Perform, which is Tua's trainer. They're like best friends. So I was in a space with them the other day. It was really good space, but he sent out a tweet today saying that Flores would make his players, would make the Dolphins stay in a hotel room for home games. Now, I think that's probably because Flores was coaching during the COVID era, and it was probably for like health and safety protocols and things like that. But in the space, his trainer Perform was basically saying like Flo was like a dictator in all assets on and off the field. He said it was getting to the point where it was almost like a high school football thing where he was telling Tua where he has to go with the football. What do you make of that?
I mean, at this point, it's a bad breakup, and everything else is going to come out. Everyone's kind of piling on top of each other. Flores is suing us, so I mean, this isn't going to go away anytime soon. I take a lot of it with a grain of salt because it's all like you're not getting direct sources. No one on the team's coming out and saying it.
I don't
It's
know.
a
I think
friend.
Tua. I think Tua's trainer is a pretty direct source.
I agree. It's definitely connected and close to the situation, but you don't see
Right.
players talking about it like just out and about. I feel like it probably would have came out at some point, but it does seem like the situation they had with Flores just was toxic down there. Um, just his coaching style. It didn't seem to match what the players wanted, or there was just no fun there. It didn't seem like anyone was having any sort of fun. Where you see now, as soon as we bring in McDaniel, everyone seems to be having a great time. It's like smiles
Yeah.
and laughs, and the vibe seems to have completely changed. So I could believe it. I could believe he was that micromanager, dictator type of guy that wanted everything exactly how he had it. I could totally see it. And that's just not good. In any business, industry, at work, if you have a manager who's telling you you need to do this, this, and this, here, that, holding your hand, that's just not a relationship that's going to be sustainable. So
Right.
if that was going on, definitely it makes sense that what happened has happened, and that we've moved on because we want a different vibe. But I could see it, and it definitely sucks, man. I wish it didn't have to go down that way, because I know you and I both, I mean, we liked Flores. We were Flores
I
guys.
loved Flores.
We thought he was going to be the one to win us some playoff games in Miami. But then
Yep.
sometimes the skeletons come out of the closet, and we start hearing what's really going on, and it changes your opinion big time.
Andres still blaming Flores to defend Tua. Let me put this to you plain and simple, Andres. Tua sucked ass last year, bro. I thought Tua sucked last year. I am not blaming Flores to defend Tua at all. I simply just believe that Tua is going to have a career year because Flores is not there. I'm not saying Flores is the only reason why Tua was terrible. I mean, Tua was terrible because he couldn't throw the ball in the cold. He couldn't show up in big games. He had 16 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He couldn't stay healthy. That has nothing to do with Brian Flores. I just think Tua's poised to have the best year of his career because Flores is no longer there. And obviously, they didn't have a good relationship. Andres, I'm not coming at you personally. I'm just saying, like, in general, because there's a lot of people that are saying Tua's played so bad last year simply because of Flores. Well, Brian Flores isn't the one throwing interceptions against the Jaguars or throwing interceptions against the Falcons or throwing a pick six against the Jets. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. But I do believe that he affected a lot of players' development on this football team.
1,000%. And I think a lot of people that do defend Tua and blame Flores, I mean, you just got to look at what their stance is on the situation. All the guys that are huge Tua fans and they suck up everything that he does, of course they're going to blame Flores. They're going to look for any
Yeah, like
excuse
that's
they can
ridiculous.
find. Like it just is what it is at this point. I wish there were more rational Dolphins fans that would just look at things for what they are and say,
Right.
yeah, was there definitely some reasons why Tua couldn't be successful that were out of his control, offensive line, play calling, stuff like that? Definitely. But
Of
did Tua
course.
throw a bunch of really bad interceptions and make bad plays down the stretch? I think it was certainly there. So this year, we've set the expectation. There's no more excuses. Does Tua have it or
No, there's
not?
none.
This is his year. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, let's get a little positive in here. I think we've been pretty positive. We could crank it up a little bit more. I get goosebumps every time I think about this roster, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, bro. What is that? Like, what is as Dolphin fans, right? I grew up. Brian Hartline and Devon Best were like the greatest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And now today in 2022, I got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill on the same team. What is that, man? What's your expectations for them? And we play some good corners this year. And for fantasy, I might be higher on Waddle than I am on Tyreek because I already know Tyreek's going to get all the double teams. I know he's going to get all the respect that he deserves. But you take Tyreek out to get you got Jalen Watt at 1,000 yards last year, 100 catches. That boy's savage. That boy's a fucking savage. I mean, what would your recipe be to try to guard a guy like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill? How do you do it?
Dude, it's gonna be crazy. The weapons are so fun to look forward to and imagine. And every time I've gone back and watched that Tyreek Hill clip 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, it's just so great to watch those playmakers. But like you said, I think Waddle's going a little under the radar, especially from a fantasy standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I know what he did last year. He was kind of misused in a way where we just had to get him the
Right.
ball 1 second and then let him run with it. Where this year, I
And then
think there's
also
going
when
to
they
be some.
started doubling him, my bad,
Yeah,
bro. But
exactly.
when they found out like Waddle was that dude, they're like, no, we're not letting that shit fly all game.
Exactly, bro. So, I mean, I think that Tyreek Hill ends up with a better Tyreek Hill ends up with more yards than Jalen Waddle, in my opinion. I just think he's that caliber of player.
Yeah.
He's anyone's receiver ranking, they're ranking him 1, 2, or 3. It's all up for debate there,
Yeah.
obviously, but kid is absolutely special. I think Tyreek's going to be unbelievable. And people are sleeping on Cedric Wilson. I
Very
love
sleep.
that
Very
signing.
sleep.
Love because he was took a back seat in Dallas to CD Lamb and Amari Cooper, obviously. But if you watch those games, and they had a lot of injury problems, Cedric Wilson
Yep.
was stepping up and getting it done. I think he's the perfect number 3. And then all this speed on the outside only opens up the middle of the field. We got Mike Gesicki back on the franchise tag. You know he
Yep.
wants the ball out because you know he wants to get paid, and he's going to have a lot more opportunities to get the ball this year. So I mean, it's weapons galore. It's how do you want to match it up? Who do you want to take away? Because you can't take away at all. It's like how the Chiefs had to do it. When you played the Chiefs, your strategy was either we're going to take away Kels or we're going to take away Tyreek Hill, and then the other one gets to eat. I think the Dolphins have a pretty similar situation this year where you can really only strategize to take one of them out, and the other one should be able to go off.
Before I go back to our receivers, I just have to address probably the stupidest thing I've ever read in my entire life. Celtics in 4 might be the most idiotic statement I've ever read in my entire life. You have absolutely no chance at winning this series. Max Struess is better than Jason Tatum. Please get out of my chat with that nonsense. Heat in 4, comb your hair, take care. I'll be in Boston for game 3. So BJ, politely BJ me. Thanks. Smell you later. Heat in 4. I will die on this hill. I think Preston Williams might 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 be a pretty good role player this year. Now, I know you have to go way back into the archives to see the last time he played, but I think he's got talent, bro. I really do. And I know he got hurt last year, and I'm pretty sure last year and the year before. So
Yeah.
he's injury prone, just like Devontae. But I think when he plays, he's very effective. In the one game that everyone, like jerks their meat over Tua was the Arizona game. Preston played that game. He had a pretty good game that game. And if you go back to Preston in college at Colorado State, bro, he was like second in the nation in receiving yards. Like he's a player when he's on the field, bro. But I don't know. I think he'll be a pretty good role player as like wide receiver 4.
Yeah, dude. Preston Williams, I was high on him 2 years ago. I think everyone was. And the problem has been he just can't stay on the field, which is a tragedy because you get all these stories on Twitter about Preston Williams in practice, Preston Williams doing this, Preston Williams doing that. And it's like
Yep.
you just want to see it come true on the field for once. I know he's
Yep.
had some injuries. Last year was weird. Like I thought at some point we were going to get him back during the season, but he just didn't end up really ever playing. Um, and if he's going to do one thing this year, he needs to change it up with the sleeves. He wears those weird long sleeves on his jerseys that like quarterbacks wear. He looks like a fucking goofball. That's probably why he's not staying healthy because he looks so goddamn weird. Look good, play good, feel good, all that stuff. You need to
Yep.
get it together there, Preston.
I agree. I agree. I feel like that's been the curse for the Dolphins, right? Is just trying to stay healthy. And
Yep.
I feel like every single year we're like, yo, this is our year. This is our fucking year. Preseason comes around, someone gets hurt. Regular season comes around, 3 weeks in, we're losing offensive starters, we're losing our quarterback. I think aside from the Buffalo Bills, staying out of the training room has to be our biggest goal this year. Keep our guys off the injured reserve, keep them on the field. And I think the Dolphins have a legitimate shot because everyone goes through the schedule, right? We all go through the schedule. Like, oh, that's a free win. Oh, that's a free win. Oh, that one's free. That one's free.
Mm-hmm.
And then the season starts and it's like, oh, great. Byron's not playing. X isn't playing. Oh, Tua has 4 cracked ribs. Oh, this, that, and that. And then a 12-5 projection turns out and they go 9-8 and they start the season 1-7. So I think our biggest enemy aside from Buffalo is the IR.
Yeah, dude, it kills us every year. I mean, from quarterback to starting wide receivers to starting corners. I know every team's going to get injured in some point throughout the year. You're going to have to battle that injury bug and it's next man up mentality. But when it's your star position groups and it's clusters of injuries, not just one offs where you got like 5, 6 starters that aren't playing on a Sunday, you're going to be in real trouble. So I think you're 100% right. We got to stay healthy. We got to get on the field. We have all these weapons. We have this great roster. It doesn't mean anything, though, if they're not playing. So 1,000% nailed, hit the what's the saying? Hit the nail on the head. Yep. Hit the nail on the
Yeah.
head is what I was meaning to say there.
There you go. If you guys look at the chat, I just dropped the link. If you guys want to hop on, talk some Dolphins with me and Bobby, the link's in the chat. Go ahead, hit that. We'll have you on. We'll chop it up. Love
Hell
to
yeah.
hear what you guys have to say. Dubtron, he said, look at the Ravens last year. You got to stay healthy to compete in the NFL. 100% correct. And I tell everyone about that game that we played them in. One, it was our Super Bowl. A
Yeah.
Thursday night game for a 1-7 team, or I think we're at 2-7 at the time, up against the Baltimore Ravens. Like, that was our Super Bowl. That was our Super Bowl. That was the biggest game of the year. And I want to address all the Raven fans that were telling me, yo, this is your Super Bowl. We'll see you in the playoffs. Well, you guys didn't make the playoffs, so smell you later. But yeah, the Ravens got absolutely depleted by injury. That's why I think they'll be really good this year, unless they had the same curse, because they lost 3 running backs in one training camp. One training camp. They lost their secondary. They lost a whole bunch of guys. So you got to stay healthy to compete. Drubatron, what's good, baby? In line picking up the
gentlemen?
kids? What's going
Yep.
on?
I'm out here. Hopefully, I still get some good signal. It's a little spotty out here in
good.
Georgia.
All right. It's all good.
All right.
How you feeling
So, yeah.
about the Melvin Ingram signing, buddy?
I love it. I love it. It's just another example of Chris Greer finally waking up. I don't know what it is, but this offseason has been, you can look at the Tyreek Hill signing and you could look at the Teron Armstead signing and you say, wow, like we've never signed superstars like this before. But to me, it's the Cedric Wilson signings. It's this signing. It's all these signings that we're doing that we're not reaching for guys, right? We're not overpaying old guys that are past their prime.
Yep.
We're getting these guys at a reasonable price. They're coming here because I think they're buying into what McDaniel and Greer are putting together. They see some potential here, and maybe it's I don't know. Chris Greer's a magician, dude. The way that he's been able to structure these
Yep.
deals, and we're still with the amount of guys we've signed, we still got so much money to spend if we want to, right? We could still carry over some money into the next season and pick up some more guys, right? Keep loading up.
Right.
It's just a I don't necessarily look at the one individual signing. I'm looking at everything as a whole and saying, it seems like it's finally clicked. And maybe it's Ross, right? Maybe he sees the writing on the wall that he might not be the owner of this team for much longer, and he's pushing Greer like, hey, you need to be
Might
aggressive,
kick
right, and
that
win me a
bucket.
Super Bowl.
Yep.
So
I
kick the
agree.
bucket or get kicked out.
Exactly.
So
I think Greer saw my video. I swear to God, because I
probably,
posted that video of me screaming at the top of my lungs in my car. He said we're gonna be aggressive. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like I'm literally
yeah,
about to have a stroke because I'm just so tired of being lied to and let down by this team. And then the
yeah,
next day we get Tyreek, we get Tara, and then we just go absolutely bonkers. And you're right, it's really not even the superstar signings. It's I like the depth signings, the role
Yeah.
player signings. Like the
yeah,
guys that are going to make an impact or step up when they need to, or if someone goes down, look, we have a guy that can play football, and we're not just relying on a starting unit. So I think the depth signings have been absolutely fantastic. I
yeah.
love the Melvin Ingram signing for that. I love having depth. I think that's the most underrated thing on any football team is having good depth.
Yeah. Well, and as you mentioned earlier too, the injuries are an inevitability in the NFL, right? When you've got 300-pound grown ass men banging their heads into each other over and over again, guys are going to get hurt. That's why I always hated the injury prone label that we put on players, especially at contact positions like running back and wide receiver. Like every fucking run. Can I curse here? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there's no swear jar on this show.
Okay. Okay. No swear
Shout
jar.
out
Okay.
Stephen
Sorry.
D. Love you.
I was on Steven's show this morning. I know. So,
I know how that goes.
we talk about running backs and wide receivers. Every fucking running back and wide receiver gets hurt at least once a year. If you go through and you look at the games played for every top wide receiver, I think I did it like a few months back. Of the top 20 wide receivers, I think three-quarters of them, three-quarters of the top 20 wide receivers missed at least a game, right? Injuries happen. Yep. But that's where depth comes into play. And that's something that we've lacked as a team for so long. You may have a couple key players, but if they go down, which they inevitably do, who's there waiting in the wings? And when you have guys that you can rely on the next man up, it goes a long way to carry you through a season, especially a 17-game season now. They've always said it's not necessarily the best team that wins the Super Bowl; it's the healthiest team. And that's key, man, because we saw poor Patrick Mahomes running for his life a couple Super Bowls ago, just because his offensive line couldn't stay healthy. And it sucked because he probably should have won that one. But I mean, that's the NFL. You saw with the Ravens too last year. I mean, which by the way, credit to the Ravens. When you have a bad year and you still end the season with 9 wins, it's pretty impressive. But I mean, decimated. Absolutely decimated by injuries. So it's key. So I'm really excited. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's fun, right? It's fun to talk about Tyreek Hill and Mostert, but just the amount of depth and the holes that we filled on this team is what really gets me excited, because now it's just, let's see it all get put together. Now we don't have to worry about who's doing what on the field, because it should be taken care of.
Right. Yep. You made some great points. I appreciate you coming on, Jepiton. Thank you.
Have a good one, boys.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, cap for life. You guys are getting mind fucked. I'll believe it when we are in the playoffs. Until then, like DMX once said, talk is cheap, motherfucker. Obviously, I hear you, brother. I hear you. I thought I made that very clear. I thought I made that very, very clear. I saw a tweet earlier that Chris Greer deserves Executive of the Year. No, not until we're in the playoffs, not until we win a playoff game. No. But if you don't get excited, if your balls don't get a little tingly when you see all of these signings, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, I don't ever remember us signing a guy like Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying I'm mind fucked. I don't think the Dolphins are poised to go win the AFC right now because we signed those guys. But if you don't think we got better after these signings, you're out of your damn mind, brother.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get excited. That's what being a fan is all about. You have your off seasons, you get your hope every year. That's just being a fan.
Right.
It gets crazy when people start saying 13 wins, winning the division, winning this,
Relax with
that.
all that.
People need to calm down. I like the moves we made. I'm positive. I'm optimistic. I can't wait. But at the same time, we still got to beat Buffalo. We still got to make
Yep.
the playoffs A, win a playoff game B. So
Yep.
I'm excited, but I'm not putting crazy expectations. I mean, people got to be level headed, and I know that's not always how it works on Dolphins Twitter.
And my thing with Greer was I always said he's a fantastic negotiator. He's probably the best negotiator in the NFL. It's very, very rare that we ever lose a trade when it comes to dealing with Chris Greer. He is an elite negotiator. It's just, it doesn't translate to the field. I mean, you look at the Laramie Tunsil trade, home run, absolute home run. But when you go back to the draft picks of that year, Tua, Igbo, AJ, I'm sorry, that's 0 for 3.
Yeah.
He worked a masterpiece of a trade. He got us those first round picks, but he went 0 for 3 with them. And that's not a knock on Tua. Look, Tua could have a career year this year. I hope he does. I want nothing but his success. But when you're looking at Tua versus Justin Herbert, bro, that's a miss, brother. And I'm one that was running through the wall for Tua. I was going crazy when we drafted Tua. Never in my mind would I have taken Herbert over Tua, but I'm not an NFL GM. I'm not the general manager of the Dolphins. I'm not the guy who's been part of the organization for 20 years. You can't miss like that. And then Igbo, I never even understood the pick when we took him, considering we already loaded that corner, and he's just an absolute flop. I mean, he might not even start on special teams. I was on ESPN today looking at the depth chart. He's like corner number 4. He's not even 2 or 3. He's corner 4. That's a complete whiff. And you didn't draft AJ to be a guard. You drafted him to be a tackle, and you whiffed on that. But then the following year, he went 3 for 3, had an excellent fucking draft. So there's give and take with Chris Greer, and I truly believe he saved his job because of that draft and his ability to negotiate. But I'm with you, Cap. I mean, I'm with you and I'm not with you. I don't think I'm mind fucked because I said the Dolphins are only going to go 10-7, 11-6 at best, and we're going to be fighting for a playoff spot. And until I see us go into Buffalo and kick their fucking ass, and I see, okay, maybe we are fucking legit. Maybe we got a shot, to walk around with our chest out and our head high. Then yeah, you could call me brainwashed, but by then I'll be proven right. And until I see that, I'm not going to just sit here and crown Chris Greer GM of the year until I see the product on the football field.
Now, I got a question for you, because we all know last year, season got out to a bad start, and you debuted the shirt that ended up becoming the lucky shirt.
Money.
Chris Greer for prison. Let's play out a dream scenario where the Dolphins win 12 games, or they win the division, or they win a playoff game. What's the comeback shirt? Because I know that Chris Greer is going to have to get some praise after the heat he took last year. So, do you got anything in mind yet, or do we got to see how it all rolls?
Yeah, Chris Greer for fucking GOAT, my guy. If he gets us to win the AFC East, if he gets us to win a playoff game, bro, I'll take Chris Greer to any Asian massage parlor he wants on me, brother. That shirt will be burnt. I can't burn the shirt yet because, bro, the shirt won us 7 straight games. Like, I don't know what you want me to do with the shirt that won me 7 straight. It saved the season. It single-handedly saved the season. I made the shirt, Chris Greer for prison. We win 7 straight. What do you want me to do? It's not my fault that we couldn't show up in Tennessee. I wore the shirt. I wore the fucking shirt. But it didn't work that game. So there's really nothing I could do. But if Greer goes out there, this team wins 12 games, 1, I'll have to change my underwear. And 2, I'll have those Chris Greer for GOAT shirts. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping to God that I don't got to see you put that shirt back on again this year. I hope you have it somewhere safe where just in case everything goes to shit and we need to break out the big guns, you still got it on you. But in a perfect world, that shirt gets burned and a new one gets created at the end of this year. And I'll be the first in line to buy one.
I hope. I want to talk about downloading Chrome to hop on. Shout out BJ. All right, we'd like to have you on, even though you said that dumbass shit about the Celtics. I want to talk about the NFL for a second. I mean, the
Okay.
divisions are absolutely stacked, locked and loaded. Who is your sleeper team to pull away with one of these divisions? Now, I think the Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to win the AFC West this year. Do you have like a sleeper team that they're not the favorite to win the division, but you think they're going to win? Not the Dolphins. Not the Dolphins. Nah, I think we might.
So I wrote down three sleeper picks that aren't the favorites that I think could win some division. The last one's a long shot. You said the first one, Chargers. I think what they've done has been unbelievable. They added Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson to that defense. It's another year
Yeah,
for
they're
Herbert.
tough.
So I mean that I saw earlier at plus 225. That's worth a shout.
Yep.
But I think that might end up getting mushed into the ground because I think everyone might take that. My second one would be Ravens plus 210.
Love them.
We talked about it earlier. They were just hurt last year. They were just honestly hurt last year and didn't have the players to go win games. I think they're on the cusp of a massive bounce back this year. They're a class team. They've been good our whole lives pretty much, never really down in the dumps. So I like the Ravens to bounce it back. And if you want something a little crazy that I don't know if it's ever going to come to fruition or not, I think the Saints to win the NFC South is worth a look, at least a small look. They've been adding talent.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's a
Famous
crazy pick.
Jameis going to take them to the promised land?
Famous Jameis is going to go out there and sling it. He's going to throw his picks. He's going to have Mike Thomas back. He's got the boy Juice down there now. They added Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary on defense. All them LSU Tiger boys are going back home. I just feel like they got a good aura around them, a good vibe, and that truly is a sleeper because no one's looking at the Saints. Everyone already penciled
That's
Brady
facts,
in.
bro.
So that's one there. I saw it at plus 400. So obviously you're getting 4-1 back on your money. I'm looking at it. I'm definitely looking at it.
Bro, I will never forgive the Dolphins for letting Jarvis go. I just from a fan standpoint, I know the money and all that other shit. I know that obviously plays a factor. But I just loved what Jarvis brought to this football team. He was the one guy where, dude, I'd wake up and I was just like, I just want to see him play, man. Played with so much heart, so much passion, so much love for the game. I remember we were playing Buffalo. He came over the middle and lit someone up on this fucking crackback. Took this man's soul, bro. And I remember the Houston Texans game where he just went fucking beast mode. I mean, I loved Jarvis Landry. I can't speak. Jarvis Landry. I thought he was exactly what you want in a football player. He's exactly the type of guy you want in your locker room. So I'm happy to see him back home. I wish him nothing but the best. It's interesting you brought up the Saints, though. Yeah, that's right. Jarvis was our Debo. Jarvis was Debo before Debo was Debo.
I'd go as far as to say Jarvis for me is a top 5 favorite Dolphin I've ever watched. I don't know if that's a stretch too far, but I genuinely
like in my lifetime, like watching with my eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you, bro. He brought the juice. BJ, what's up?
Hey, sorry, my voice. I went to a concert this weekend, but you guys were talking about like highest, like betting odds to lower people to win. The Saints are really good because I think Drew Brees is coming back.
That's what Bobby just said. Bobby just said he loves the Saints.
He's not. I mean, he's not gonna. You see that talent they had. I'm a big Ohio State fan. Chris Olave, as Pat McAfee said, a dog.
Olave is way better. Way better. I think he's way better than Garrett. Am I wrong?
I think for the NFL, Olave will be better. Garrett Wilson route running is tremendous, but him because Olave there is not going to be the number one guy.
Right.
He's going to have Michael Thomas and Jarvis. So that's two.
Well, Michael Thomas don't ever play it, but I hear you.
On the
slam boy.
On the Jets, you have I don't even know. I should know this, but I don't.
I know.
Braxton Berrios, I think.
Right. Literally.
So but another one you guys didn't mention, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You're to win the South?
I swear.
You're damn right I'm going to laugh at you. I got over $500 riding on the Colts to win that division, bro. This is their year. I've been betting them to win every year.
How many years have we been saying that since Andrew retired, though? Like Matt Ryan, way better than Carson Wentz. My left ass cheek is better than Carson Wentz.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is just – I mean, yeah, he did play awful the first year, but so did Josh Allen. So did a lot of I mean, it's a big step in the NFL, and
I love them having Doug Peterson though. I think that's going to be a big culture change for them. I love Doug.
Yeah, I mean, after I saw Christian Kirk's contract, I thought about becoming an NFL wide receiver, but I think they've added a few good pieces. I really like Walker out of Georgia. I don't think he should have been the number 1 overall pick, but he's very talented.
Right. I actually heard that there's rumors that Drew Brees, I don't know how this happened, but possibly on the Miami Dolphins. If the Dolphins sign Drew Brees, no disrespect to Drew Brees, he's a legend, Hall of Fame quarterback. I will jump off the biggest cliff in Florida, which only might be like 13 feet, but I'm going to fucking do it, man. I mean, I think Drew Brees might have a worse arm than Tua as of right now. I mean, that's wash goods. Like that's the stuff that they push in at the front line of Publix because it's about to be fully expired and they're trying to get rid of it. I would be livid if we signed Drew Brees to start over Tua.
Drew Brees was good for me, bro. I was a good fade the last year of his career. They'd usually be favorites because it still had the big name, and you just fade the Saints every week because Drew Brees couldn't throw the football. But I don't mind that Saints call. I think is a good one. I don't know about Jacksonville, man. I'd go as far as to say that I think that Lawrence is going to be a bust. I've never been a Lawrence fan. I didn't like him coming out of college.
Wow.
So I'll go the complete other way and say I don't think that Lawrence will be very good in the NFL.
I don't know. Yeah,
classify bust. Like, would you take Tua over Trevor Lawrence right now?
No, I think that's crazy.
So what's Tua?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, you got to let their careers play out a little bit. At this current moment, I would take
Right now, you would take Tua or Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence, I guess. I don't know. It's not really going
okay,
off of
but if you said Trevor Lawrence is going to be a bust, and what's Tua going to be?
This is the year. And if he doesn't do it this year, he's a bust.
I've
been on that the
You're
whole
right. I think everyone's on that. I think even the Tua stands deep down in their little heart believe that if he doesn't ball this year, it's not going to happen.
I think Tua himself is on that, really. I mean,
right, yeah.
You look at that.
Great point.
I mean, those weapons are just ridiculous. We're building a 5-star track team out here.
Yeah, we are.
I say that all the time. Even like when I'm being objectively critical of Tua, like Tua's probably saying the same thing to himself. He's like, bro, I probably sucked ass that game. It's not like I'm pulling things out of thin air. Like, oh yeah, I'm just making this up. No, Tua probably goes home, watches the game, is like, yeah, I fucking sucked that game. But I want to hear you guys' opinion on this. Okay. Great question, by the way. How do you guys feel about the first 4 weeks of the season? I feel like those games are the most important for setting the tone for the season. 100,000,000%. I've seen everyone's schedule predictions. To everyone that just confidently has us going 3-1, I personally think you're out of your mind. I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy. I'm just trying to be a realistic Dolphin fan. That first 4 is brutal. New England, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and then who's the 4th? Who am I missing?
Cincinnati's week 4.
Cincinnati. I got it out of order. So I know week 1's New England. I know week 2 is Baltimore.
Ravens.
Then
Ravens
Buffalo. Right. No, Ravens are week 2. Buffalo's week 3.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's week 4. Those are not free wins, man. They're not free wins. Von Joe, I agree. I think if we go 2-2, we won.
Yeah.
It could be scary, man. I mean, we really could go 1-3. I know we added talent, man, but these are some top tier teams, and everyone's just acting like New England's just fucking terrible. Hey, man, I know we swept them. I know. Like my dick is big too when I'm talking about the New England Patriots. Like we're on their ass, but I was there in New England for week 1. If it wasn't for Xavier Howard making the play, I mean, he's made tons of plays. I can't even say that was the play of his life, but an elite defensive play. I mean, he came in and stripped a running back and won us the game. We would have lost that game, started the season 0-8. I don't think we can just chalk up wins against New England all the time. I think of those 4 games, that's the game we're probably most likely going to win. But I don't think like any of these games are just something we could just chalk up for free. I mean, everyone that has us going 12-5 or fucking 13-3 or 4, whatever it would be, I mean, they're just chalking up a win against Buffalo. Like we've beat them 1 time since 2017. I know we've made improvements, but it's not like Jacksonville's just sitting back. I mean, Buffalo's sitting back there doing nothing. we got to prove it, man. And when we do these schedule wins and losses, you got to hold yourself accountable until you see it in real life. How are you just going to chalk up wins, man? I don't get it. But I think we go 2-2. I think we go 2-2. I think 2-2 is a win.
1,000%. I mean, if we take 2-2 there, and then right afterwards we get into the easy stretch of our schedule, I think we're on perfect pace. If we go 1-3, I would say it's not the end of the world. Those are 4 tough games, and I don't think we should take too much shame in going 1-3 if that were to happen. I still think we could rebound the season. Like I said, that stretch of games coming up after that should be some W's. But if we go 0-4 there to start the season, it might be a little scary. That's when it might start getting a little sketchy.
Yep. What's up, Von
2-2
Joe?
smoke.
2-2, right?
All right.
I think 2-2 I think it's respectable.
And that's if Baltimore is not healthy.
Right. And that's
right?
what
because if they fully healthy, we haven't
about.
beaten them. Yeah,
bro, I'm telling everyone.
Them
I said it's
healthy.
not free. I said it's not free. If they're healthy, that is not a free win, bro.
Especially at Baltimore.
Win. No, it's not. And it's in Baltimore. It's in Baltimore too. I don't care how early in the season it is.
Yep.
So, but
they know what we did to them. We know what they know what we did to them. You think we're just gonna walk into their house and just mollywop them again? I mean, come on, bro.
They have a little. And the thing is, everybody's like they don't have no weapons. If their running backs are healthy and Lamar Jackson is healthy and that O-line is healthy and their defense is healthy, that's what Baltimore has always been. Yes. They always just been defense and running the ball down your throat. They don't open up. They don't stretch the field. They don't do none of that shit. It's just run and beat you on defense and beat up your offense. That's it.
Yeah,
that's been Baltimore's. Baltimore is one of those teams that just have an identity.
Yeah.
Yep. And people forget they got J.K. Dobbins on that team coming back. I mean, like,
yes, he was injured last year.
Back. They literally lost 3 running backs in the offseason. It was unbelievable. I think they're going to be really good. And I think the disrespect towards Lamar Jackson has just had an all-time high right now. I mean, there's literally people saying they would take Tua over Lamar Jackson. Would any of you guys on this panel take Tua over Lamar Jackson?
The only way I take Tua. Go ahead, Von Joe. You got it.
I was gonna say if you give me some angel dust and probably put a gun to my head, I'll probably take Tua over Lamar Jackson.
Angel dust. It's gonna require
because I have to start. I have to hallucinate and then I have to be threatened.
Oh, man.
For that to happen, because no way you're taking a former MVP that sat there last year before the injuries really took place and they really got depleted. They were one of the best teams in the league. They were 8-0. People keep forgetting that. Man. No, Lamar over. I say Lamar over Tua all day. And if people saying that you're not a real Dolphin fan, Lamar's actually from Florida, so I say bring that man back home.
He's from Broward County. He's where I'm from. If the Ravens are ever in the Super Bowl, so if the Ravens are ever in the Super Bowl, I'm rooting for Lamar Jackson. Like, he is South Florida. Like, he's more South Florida than probably anyone that's on the roster. I mean, he was born and raised here. He's probably a Dolphin fan. Like,
he went to school in Boynton. Fam, I was raised in Lauderdale, so trust me.
Right.
I know. I say, so don't nobody give me some dude that came from Hawaii and went to Alabama is better than somebody that's homegrown from Florida itself. All right. He talks Lauderdale. He speaks Lauderdale. He is Broward County to the essence. Big trust.
Bro, him and Kodak are boys. Like, that is Broward County. That is Broward County. Is Kodak and Lamar Jackson. Like, they are the Donald Trump. Like, they are the biggest celebrity of Broward County. Like, I don't take Lamar Jackson and Kodak. That's it.
I don't take no Lamar slander. I don't take no Lamar slander at all.
VJ, you were shaking your head when I asked the question, Lamar or Tua.
Yeah, you were asking it. No way I'm taking Tua or Lamar.
Right.
I mean, his ability to create. I mean, it's almost Patrick Holmes-esque in the ability to create. Not like throwing the ball or anything. Not in that sense, but he can just make a terrible play turn into a 15-yard gain, which is huge in big-time games, in my opinion.
I agree. It's just so hard to tackle him. Where would you rate him? Because I had a lot of fun with this. Where would you rate him in the AFC? Now, it might take you a little time. You might have to pull up the ESPN. Do you have him either as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL or top 5, top 6 in the AFC? I mean, the AFC's loaded, man. It's tough.
I mean, you have
Mahomes, Allen, that's your 1 and 2.
You might have 3 in the AFC West above him, potentially.
Right. Wilson.
Yeah.
Herbert.
Wilson.
Would it be crazy to say I would
Wilson
take
for sure.
I would take Lamar over Russell Wilson at his current status. I don't know if that's crazy to say, but that's just how I feel.
I don't think that's necessarily crazy. I think it seems crazy with the last year that Russell had. Like he just didn't look like
you
Russell.
playing with like 9 fingers, you know.
That is true.
I think there's a lot of I don't know what the exact term is, but it's like recency something
Recency
in sports
bias.
where people if everyone just forgets about how good of a quarterback Russell Wilson is, like accuracy wise, leadership wise, his ability to throw that moon ball 55 yards in the air and just drop it in an absolute breadbasket. Like people forget about all that. Try playing quarterback with 9 fingers. Try playing quarterback with 4 fingers on your throwing hand. Tell me how good you are.
Yeah.
Hey, Nikki Smokes, I gotta go. I'll probably come back, but I gotta run into a meeting. I just noticed.
All right, no worries, Vonjo. Appreciate your time, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Stopping by. I just looked at it real quick, Smoke, and in my opinion, I'd put Lamar at 5th in the AFC. So obviously Josh Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, and then I would say Deshaun Watson. Other than that, I'd say Lamar's right after that.
You're not taking Joseph Lee Burrow over Lamar Jackson?
You're 110%.
Wait, are you
right.
one of those Ohio State fans that
No, I can't stand Joe Burrow. But he played in my high school. My brothers played against him. He's unbelievable.
You're correct. That was an overlook on my part. I would put Burrow over him.
I would almost put Joe Burrow in the argument with Mahomes. I'm telling you guys, I've watched him high school, college. He is just on a different level. He is one of those guys. I am better than you, and I will show you.
He's got that Brady juice in him. That's why I thought. I thought they had a shot at winning the Super Bowl. Oh yeah, I know. Well, we could have had him, but Flores fucked that up. He just decided he didn't want $500,000 game. Or
I couldn't rock a Brady Miami jersey. I just couldn't do it.
I would buy that fucking jersey. If we won a Super Bowl, I would have that Tom Brady jersey hanging up in my closet.
If we win the Super Bowl with him, absolutely, he's the greatest of all time. I mean, I don't agree. I mean, he already is, but
yeah.
And I had one more comment on Lamar Jackson versus Tua in that specifically. If you have 2 eyes and watch football, this is the easiest answer of all time. But if there's one place though where I think I would take Tua over Lamar Jackson, it'd be on the golf course. I don't know if you guys saw that post that Lamar had where he was asking for pointers to play golf. And meanwhile, he had golf tees and a pitching wedge or something in his hand.
On the putting green.
It's just like step one is maybe putt with your putter. I just thought that was funny. And we know Tua is playing golf on game days. So I'll take Tua over Lamar on the golf course, in the golf course only.
All day, bro. I saw that. His fit was elite. He had a great fit on. But yeah. Hey, BJ, I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming on. Make sure you come on again, all right?
Yeah, no, we'll do. See you guys.
Brother.
Peace, man.
That was great. That was fun. We need big panels like that.
I
think that we'll just end on that note right there. Thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't, I know you guys have commented, so subscribe, share it with some friends, let people know about the Smoke Show. I appreciate all you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Fins up.
Fins up.